Kia ora. I call Kelvin Davis.
Thank you, Mr Chair. Mr Chair, the Labour Party was in support of the Wīpere Trust bill. The Wīpere Trust is a fantastic organisation that was set up by an inspired tūpuna of theirs back in the 1800s, early 1900s. He did remarkable work. It's a trust that has millions of dollars in assets now and is doing a fantastic job for their beneficiaries. It's really disappointing, though, to come here and to see that 15 minutes before the bells rang this afternoon, 3 SOPs were dumped on us, and we knew nothing about them whatsoever. It would have just been a matter of courtesy to say to the MPs and to the other parties, look, this is what's going to happen, and these are the minor changes and technical amendments, and you know, chances are we would have understood them and known what and supported them. Unfortunately, we've been asked to support something we've had a brief look at, don't really fully understand the ins and outs. In fact, the SOP to do with the ture whenua Māori, it's quite ironic today in Māori Affairs, where we were talking about the ture whenua Māori bill. It's a thick piece of legislation that's being introduced. We're really concerned to get it right. We want to work through clause by clause and make sure that if that bill is going to go through and pass in this House, that we get it absolutely right for our people. So it's really disappointing to turn up this afternoon, 15 minutes before the bells ring, there's an SOP that is probably more than just a minor amendment to the ture whenua. There's about 3.5 pages of changes. And we haven't had an opportunity whatsoever as a Labour Māori caucus to have a good look at it and go over it. We haven't been briefed by any officials. We haven't been briefed by the Minister. And what we've been asked to do is just take a leap of faith and agree to amendments in a bill that we're actually debating in Māori Affairs at the moment in quite a substantial way. And I think it's really unfair, Minister, Minister and the Chair, to have done this to us when really a simple phone call would have sufficed, you know, even as late as yesterday. I look at the SOP from Meka Whaitiri that was tabled on the 25th of August, and here we are in October. 12th of October, we're given three SOPs to go through. Now, the Te Rarawa bill, I believe that this will be similar to what Te Rarawa approached me on last year in terms of just making it a little bit easy for them to manage their fisheries assets. So I've got a bit of a background on that SOP, but I don't really have a background on the other 2 SOPs. And so it's just really disappointing that we have to stand here and really talk about stuff that we aren't yet fully au fait with, even though the Minister says that they're minor and technical. What it's done, though, is it's opened up the opportunity for us to debate another more SOPs that the Labour Party will be putting down to do with Māori policy, and we look forward in the later stages. In Part 4, I believe, there's actually a Māori Housing Act, and we're looking forward to getting our teeth into debating a lot of material around Māori housing. But at this stage, the Wīpere Trust itself, it could have been all over pretty quickly into this evening. I just want to touch again, though, on Meka Whaitiri's SOP, and I think it's really good. It's disappointing that the National Party aren't going to support it. And what the bill is proposing in its current form is that if there's an issue, that the whānau have to go off to the High Court to get it sorted out. When we're saying that the better pathway for Māori is to go through the Māori Land Court. Reason being that the Māori Land Court is a lot cheaper and easier for whānau to have access to the courts, whereas the High Court is a lot more expensive. The benefit of going to the High Court is that things get dealt with a lot more quickly, whereas in the Māori Land Court it just takes a lot longer. And the Wī Pere Trust, no doubt, Mr. Chair,
Kelvin Davis.
the Wī Pere Trust would no doubt prefer, because they do have money, they would be able to access the High Court. They'd be able to get decisions based around their business done a lot more quickly. But it's the whānau and the beneficiaries who would struggle to go into the High Court and pay to have their issue examined by the High Court. They would much rather prefer that they go to the Māori Land Court, even though it may take longer. Whānau are a lot more au fait and a lot more comfortable in the Māori Land Court. Certainly, I think it's about $50 plus GST to file something in the Māori Land Court. Therefore, we in the Labour Party are saying the Māori Land Court would be the better option to have these issues dealt with, because whānau can actually access and afford to access the Māori Land Court. So, Mr. Chair, there's going to be a lot of discussion around the Māori Purposes Bill. The door's been open for us to discuss a number of options. Like I say, I'm looking forward to discussing the Māori Housing Act in Part 4, I believe it is, but I'll leave it for now. Kia ora.